Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 29th of May. Looking at the euro dollar first, and well, we've seen a continuation pretty much as expected as it started breaking through there. As I said yesterday morning, once we started seeing it pushing back above that 200, well, it got up to that weekly R1. And it has had a nice run. Looking at this 4-hourly, nice straight, pretty clearish run all that way. As we sit here looking at lower time levels, bit of divergence across these highs here, and an untouched daily pivot. I am looking at that with the potential of trading it back towards the pivot. We'll see how things happen post 8 o'clock, but I am looking at that at this stage. So. If we get a continuation, so be it. But I'm just looking at, as I say, that divergence. See if we get a bit of a breakdown. It did it yesterday, got back to its daily pivot. Just see if it does similar today. So that's the euro. From that point, though, I should say, just as it went yesterday, I would be then looking to see if we get any further upside. Play it both ways, maybe. Not at one go, though. Okay, pound dollar. Pound dollar was a bit more jittery. It still sits in this sort of, there's almost like a invisible moving average on here on the dailies, but it's stuck there below the 124 area. Could be below that 124, but there you are. You can see the 4-hourly 200 has been sort of stopping it running so far. Inverted sort of head and shouldery pattern sitting there for some that are looking at that. Maybe could see some further upside occur from that. Looking at it in the shorter term, though, it's again a bit of divergence running across the highs there. Let's just check. Yeah, it's pretty much there as well. So again, a sort of breakdown of the trend. Could see it running back towards its daily pivot. Now, it's not to say both the euro and the pound won't push up first, and if they do, well, we'll look at it again later, but it's got the sort of beginnings of a trend. The pound is certainly not as clear as it's slightly weaker looking than the euro, but at the moment, if they're both pushing up, obviously not trying to trade against this move until they show a signal. Okay, or give me a trigger, I should say. I've got a signal, I've got divergence, but need to see the trigger. Yen has continued pushing down here a little bit. I mean, it broke down really through this Asian session there. Whether that's a risk off move that sort of created this money back into the yen, but saying that the pound euros strengthened here, and you can see where it's broken the trend lines of yesterday's across the lows there. Already moved down quite a bit here, and extreming lows here, or been extreme in May, where it's retested that extreme sort of level, pushed up and pulled back to it, but does look like it could continue that way potentially. It's looking soft, so yeah, retrace might give opportunities there, so for further downside, but it's come down so quickly in one go. I'd rather see it have a half decent retrace now. Aussie dollar, the Aussie's trying to push through this daily 200. It struggled and struggled yesterday, barely. It was an inside day, but this is just consolidation. You just see the wedge that's formed here, and a breakout of this may gain a bit of a momentum move. Just looking, yep, the signal here, it's a bit softer, but we've had lower highs, that all fits okay. But we could see the Aussie dollar, it's already gone through its daily pivot here, it's ticked that one off. This one could be a runner to the upside, and breaking through these highs. Targets then would be a bit more difficult, because you've got the monthly R1 sitting there at 67.21, so there is a target sitting above there. Maybe then it could over the next week maybe gradually head up towards that point 6936 area. Okay, that's the Aussie. do remain bullish on it at the moment. Canadian dollar, well, the Canadian dollar, the last couple of days, not very much movement. It is again consolidating around the lows here. A bit of a wedge pattern. Looks like it's ready to sort of break down now. Just pushing through here, and you just see it's just really struggling. And the more it hits on this low, though, the more likely it is to push through. Okay, so that's the possibility there. One thing to bear in mind is news today. We haven't got anything till 1:30 on my calendar here. And we've got the CAD GDP, which is a monthly data, which in normal circumstances doesn't make a big movement anyway. It will create a lot of volatility a little bit with the CAD, but nothing else. We do have a Fed Chair Powell speaking at 4 p.m. Due to participate in a virtual panel discussion in Princetown for economic policy studies at 4 p.m. I mean, the very fact that he's speaking sometimes creates volatility in the market, and has got that potential, but it's so late on. It will be finishing London session is sort of finishing at a stage, and I'm told on good authority allegedly that President Trump's supposed to be speaking about the reaction to China and the Hong Kong situation at 6 p.m. So if that is as late as 6, well, we're okay for the day. We shouldn't get any extreme volatility before then. However, if he does start tweeting a bit before then, we could see a reaction in the markets for sure. And equities would probably be sold if he's going to start causing putting more tensions or more tariffs, etc., on Chinese goods. I think it will cause a problem with the equity markets particularly, and may see money run to safety, which is ironically the dollar. Okay, let's have a look at oil. I said yesterday morning that I was looking to see if this came down a little bit further, but it didn't. It found some support in the end, and went further than I expected in one session there. It ran into resistance here. I thought that's as far as it's going, and it popped up a little bit further, maybe setting up for another push to the upside, which is sort of pull back in this sort of flaggish pattern on the 60-minute here. Could see a move up later, perhaps if it breaks out the trend there, gives us a high low or something. Possibly buying it around about that 33.50 sort of zone. See if we can ride it back up to those prior highs and towards that 34.81 area. So oil's got some potential there. And finally the S&Ps. So the S&Ps yesterday made a near-term high again. Ended up on a doji on the daily basis, and well, bit of a mess running through there. On the 4-hourlies, we'd seen a bit of minor divergence, a bit of a retracement coming off at the 8 o'clock bar, closing on the cash market there, sold off. Whether we'll see a continuation of that today, we'll have to wait. I think with Trump speaking, it may be one of those days it just consolidates for a bit, and well, at least the cash market opens. So that's pretty much it for me. I wish you a great day, great weekend, and I'll speak to you next week. Bye for now.